Games we love. Indiana Jones' Greatest Adventures. My favorite film franchise of all time has gotten its fair share of video games throughout the years, but Indiana Jones' Greatest Adventures on the Super Nintendo is one of the best. It's also a gem on the system that isn't talked about nearly as much as it should be. As Indy, you get to explore and adventure through the trilogy of Raiders, the Temple of Doom, and the Last Crusade. This game is a stunning platformer. The sprites and backgrounds are all detailed and filled. I find the gameplay to be really excellent. While Indy doesn't have the level of whip control Simon Belmont has in Super Castlevania 4, he comes pretty close with whipping directions vertical, horizontal, and diagonal in the air. Swinging with the whip is awesome and satisfying. It's also important to get good with it too, because later in the stages, you'll need to be. You can collect hearts and little gems that add up to extra lives pretty quickly. The levels have iconic scenes that vary between side-scrolling, searching for an exit or an item, and super stressful stages from each film where you outrun obstacles, ride mine carts, fly an airplane, and fight on a tank. These are fast-paced and use the SNES's Mode 7, which works perfectly in these situations. Indy battles using his fists, whip, rolling, and his revolver to meet his challenges. He faces some of his greatest adversaries in some fun boss fights that may not be film accurate, but are still really fun to see. Some of the game is pretty challenging, and you have to expect to take some punishment, but I honestly think it doesn't get the praise it deserves. Indiana Jones' Greatest Adventures on the SNES recreates iconic moments, has solid visuals, great gameplay, and is a very underrated game we love. Please be sure to like and subscribe and follow me on all sorts of social media. I'm usually on Instagram, and I am on the channel Discord, so you can come talk to me whenever you want. And I would also appreciate it if you take a look at the Patreon. There's some really cool perks for you guys so we can stay connected and help the channel grow together.